Perfect. Don't judge us. It's a work in progress. All right. So today's class is real estate investment basics. Who here is working with an investor? It's a trick question. You want me to trick people or what? Already tricked you before? Yeah. Who here is working with an investor besides me? Okay, good. All right. So this is how you can be of use to an investor, of value, right? Every realtor can search the MLS for homes, but can you actually provide value to an investor? So the first thing I want to go over with you guys, everybody has this in front of them? It's a pamphlet. So I want you guys to go over this introduction section first. So why do you want to learn about real estate investments? Write 2 to 3 reasons why. Why do you want to learn about real estate investment? Is it to better help other people, better help investors? Is it to help yourself with your own investments in the future, set yourself up? And then how could expanding your knowledge of investments help your career? Close more deals, do your own flips, build your own rental portfolio, close more investors. And then I'd like you to write one, if you've thought of it, list one skill or concept you hope to learn from this class. It's sort of an open discussion. I've got an outline for you, but I'm open to questions and we'll go over everything you guys want to know. So, why do you want to learn? How could it help you? And what's one thing you hope to learn from this class? Everybody got it? Okay. So the first things first, we want to understand an investor's goals, right? Yes, the primary goal is to make money as an investor, not to lose money, to make money, but more specifically, the different types of investors there are out there. So the first we have is a buy and hold. So what do you think a buy and hold investor's goal is? Those are both right answers. I would think most importantly is cash flow, because cash flow allows the investor to build equity over time. Cash flow is the vehicle that allows an investor to hold a property. Does that make sense? Cash flow, right? Cash flow. Cash flow, and you can put / appreciation or equity. And also tax deductions, because they can write off the depreciation of a home. Fix and flip. What do you think the primary goal of a fix and flip investor is?
Buy distressed properties, renovate them, and then sell for a higher profit.
Their goal is to get the properties as cheap as possible, because it's all about the spread. It's all about the equity that they get, instant equity that they get. That's why I always say, like, if you ask me what my buy box is, I always say I like to see at least $125,000 meat on the bone. And when I say that, I'm talking about the difference between what the sellers want for it and what I could purchase, or what I could sell it for on the back end, what the ARV is, right? All right, wholesaler. Everybody know what a wholesaler is? Good old wholesalers, they'll drive you nuts. They will drive, as real estate agents, they will drive you nuts. Eventually, at some point in time, you're going to have a listing, and a wholesaler is going to come in there pretending to be a real buyer, and they're going to mess you up. But as an investor, wholesalers are great. We know what a wholesaler's goal is? Yes, exactly. Basically to sell the contract for a wholesale fee. Very similar to a fix and flip, right? They're looking for that instant equity. BRRRR. Everybody know what the BRRRR method is? Buy, rehab, rent, repeat. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. That's the BRRRR method. All right, the key metrics and the terms. So first thing we're going to go over is ROI. Everybody knows that. That stands for return on investment. Cap rate. Anybody know what a cap rate is?
The annual return.
Yes. Annual return on investment. Cap rate is the capitalization rate at which your money earns money. ARV. Everybody know what ARV stands for? After repair value. Cash on cash return. Does anybody know what that means? You know what that means? Cash on cash return refers to, okay, so if I'm financing property, I'm buying a property with finance, I'm not paying $400,000 for a $400,000 house, am I? I'm paying the down payment and the closing costs. That is my actual cash. That makes sense? That's my cash in. For example, let's just use easy numbers. If there's a $100,000 house and I have to put down $20,000 down payment and I got to pay $10,000 in closing costs, how much is my cash investment? $30,000. So when we're looking at cash on cash return, we're looking, hey, if I put $30,000 into this deal, what is my cash on cash return year over year, or in general? Does that make sense? You guys understand that concept? Okay. Prioritizing goals. What do you think is most important to investors? High ROI, low risk, or quick profits? They all have different priorities. So it's up to you to ask these questions when you work with an investor. What is your primary goal? Is it a high ROI? Is it to take low risk? Or is it quick profits? Obviously, everyone wants high ROI, low risk, and quick profits, all three, right? But what is your primary goal as an investor? That's the question you need to ask. Because someone might say, I'm okay with making just a little bit of money as long as I make it fast. I'm okay with it taking a while as long as I make a high ROI, as long as I make a lot of return on my investment. Or hey, I'm okay with it sitting on the market as long as it's a low risk, as long as it's very low risk for me. Okay. We're not there yet. So finding deals for investors. So where do we source deals? So an investor reaches out to you on Facebook. I mean, you can find an investor anywhere you look. You know, everyone's an investor. Everybody wants to be an investor. There's no shortage of investors out there. You can find an investor very easily. They ask you for your services, right? An investor engages you and says, hey, here's my buy box. And they say, we want, commercial properties. We want them to be under 10 million. We want them to have 50,000 square feet, blah, 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 blah. We want them to be in Florida. They want to be in the major metro areas with a population of over 100,000. They're going to give you all these things they want. Where do we go find these deals? The MLS, right? What are you going to find on the MLS?
Buy listings, distressed properties, auction properties.
On the MLS? Auction property?
There's an auction tab. And then price reductions. But the thing I've noticed wholesalers are doing, regardless of the home, they're coming in offering way less.
Right.
Putting the contract on.
Yes, that's true.
Active listings as well.
MLS, and what's the problem with looking on the MLS?
Everyone's looking at it.
There's so much competition for MLS properties. Once the property's on the MLS, like you will probably get investors who say, I don't want properties that are listed on the MLS. So if it's already listed, don't bother sending it to me. Because they know that those properties already have competition and it's very hard to find a good deal. And if you do, you know, right? I mean, I have wholesalers send me properties that are active on the MLS, and I'm like, you know, I don't need this. You know, I want something that's off market. I want a sweet deal. I want something with 125. So MLS, off market properties. Where are we finding off market properties? Driving for dollars. What was that? My favorite. For sale by owners. Where else? Wholesalers. Direct mailers. Door knocking, cold calls. Circle prospecting. Auctions and foreclosures. You know, we're looking at pre-foreclosures and stuff like that. You can find those on Zillow, pre-foreclosures. You can find them through your title companies. Title companies will provide you a list. On the HUD. Pocket listings. Everybody knows what a pocket listing is? That would be a listing that you don't necessarily have the listing contract. Someone says, oh, I'm thinking about selling. I'm not really ready to list it, you know, but if I were to get a cash offer, I would sell it. Right? Or someone says, I'm fixing up the house right now and then we'll sell it in the future. Right? That pocket listing is something that is not active, that nobody really knows about. Maybe you do have a contract. There's different types of contracts. But majority of the time for me, it has been like a coming soon listing, right? Something that I have maybe a contract for, but I have an MLS exclusion form for 30 days. Something like that. It's not active yet, but I have it kind of in my back pocket. I've sold a few of those to investors. All right. No, because I never went under contract with them as far as to purchase. Because a wholesale is what they do is they will go under contract to buy the house, and then they'll assign that contract to you. So I had a listing contract with an exclusion form for, you know, X amount of time, and I found a buyer in between that time, and I brought them before we listed the property, and I kept my full commission, my full 6%.
When it comes to assigning a contract, is that just
No. Assigning a contract is usually done with another, you know, contract. So you have that assignability clicked, you know, little assignability section, may assign and be released, may assign and not be released, may not assign and therefore not be released. So if you have the may assign part, a contract stating the terms of you assigning it. I mean, every wholesaler you talk to usually has a different type of contract. There's not really like a one size fits all. No. That's usually done through like an attorney, a real estate attorney. I use ChatGPT for my last one. Evaluate a deal. So what are two things you should check to ensure a deal is worth presenting to an investor?
ROI.
The return on investment. Yeah. What was that? ARV. Yeah. We need to know, as an investor, you need to know what is the ARV. If you don't have an ARV, investor really can't make a decision, right? I mean, an investor is probably going to run their own numbers anyways, but you make it easier for them to make a decision by providing an ARV with detailed comparable properties. So you really want to make sure you have that. And when we're doing an ARV, an investor doesn't want to see what's active and what's pending. We want to see what is sold. Those are the more concrete numbers. We want to see what is sold. Other than the ARV, you also want to know what is going to be the rehab cost. Projected rehab costs. How much is it going to cost this investor? Or if not the actual cost, the rehab items. What needs to be fixed? What needs to be replaced or repaired in order to bring this property to market value? The roof, the AC, it's going to need flooring, it's going to need demolition, it's going to need a kitchen, it's going to need the pool resurfaced, it's going to need, you know, new doors, it's going to need to be painted, it's going to need to be, you know, it needs new electrical. You know, we want to look out for those big items. The most important items to an investor, for the most part, are going to be the four major components. Anybody know what those are? Yeah, roof, plumbing, HVAC, and one more, electrical. Those are the four major components. And then they're going to want to know what's your recommendation, especially if this is something in your marketplace, because they look at you as the what? The expert. So if you're the expert, you've got to be able to tell them, hey, this is exactly what this property needs to be brought to market value. And I've seen similar houses in my experience going for $300,000, $400,000. All right, so now we're going to do a quick investment analysis. So this is called the fix and flip formula. You might have saw my video on it yesterday. So for me, this is what I would want you guys to do. If you're presenting a deal to me, and I'm sure your other investors would appreciate this as well. If you're presenting a deal, we start with the ARV. So if we've got a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in St. Cloud on a normal size lot with 1,500 square feet, just off the top of your head, what do you think that's going for? Huh? No, just your standard 3-2 in St. Cloud with 1,500 square feet on a normal size lot. What's the problem with giving me with a single price? I want a range. I want a range. The lowest would be the high, the high end of the averages is your average 3-2 is going for like 310 to 380, right? But so that's what you would provide. But so we're going to start with the ARV. We're obviously going to narrow that down with concrete, with hard comps, sold comps. Now it's your job as the expert to figure out what in this house. You have to talk to the seller, you have to talk to the listing agent or the wholesaler or whoever, and you've got to figure out what is needed in order to bring this property to the market. Yes.
Taking a step back, when it comes to giving you the comps or being less the comps, when I've done it in the past, I'm looking at like, oh, here's the crappy ones, and then obviously when we do the rehab, it's going to be the top in the neighborhood, like the best one that's going to be authentic and be done. So are we only sending you like the high-end comps or the low-end as well?
As an investor, we really just want the low-end comps. I don't really want the high-end. Well, it depends.
Even though when you're done with rehab, it's going to be far superior to the lower.
Maybe. What's my style as an investor? Because I might just be an investor who's in there, who wants to get in there and out of there quick, and I do your standard everyday materials.
So if I know you're someone who's doing the brand, the new tap, and the new line, things like you're the top of the line.
Know your investor. Yes. Yeah, know your investor. Hey, what do you think what is your style, Mr. Investor? Are you someone who likes to get in there quick and do standard? Or are you someone who goes in there and goes extravagant and tries to really, really milk it? Because what's the difference? As far as in risk, what's the difference? Higher risk, the higher quality materials you use. Lower risk, the more standard you use.
We have had one navigator. We had someone living there, came in as an investor who had a proper work to it. But well, this thing be like $500 million and up, $30,000. What are you talking about?
Jesus.
He told me like what his style was.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you're going
for sure.
That high luxury.
Right. I would say for sure it depends on the person. As an investor, I can tell you every investor wants to know what is my safe side? What is on the safe side? Where is this ARV going to fall? I don't really want to know what did the highest comp sell for in this neighborhood. I don't really care. What are the low end to the averages going for? That's what I want to know, especially in this market. Now, if we were in 2021, that would be a different story. I'd be like, oh, tell me what the high end's going for, because we'll probably get the high end. So, okay, we have construction costs. Construction costs are things like the roof. This is what it costs to swing a hammer in that place. What is the roof going to cost me? What is the flooring going to cost me? What is the, not just those things, but also what is the labor going to cost? How do you think you guys find that stuff out? Eventually. But in the meantime, how do we find that stuff out?
Networking with other professionals in those trades.
Yes. Yeah. Right? By talking with contractors, by talking with flooring people, you're going to go get estimates. How hard is it for you to send a text to somebody you have a connection with already and say, hey, how much would it be in St. Cloud if I wanted to do just standard floors and 1,500 square feet? Standard laminate flooring. or maybe even shoot them over an image from. As an investor, I want to know this. You make my life so much easier when you go, hey, yeah, by the way, I already have a bid for you by a contractor for $50,000. They said they could do the work in 3 months max. I go, shit, man. Let me take you to steak dinner. Okay, so you have your construction costs, which is pretty plain and simple, right? We understand that. What is it going to cost to bring this place up to speed? Now, something a lot of people forget about is the cost of money. So you got to know your investor. Is your investor buying it with their own cash, or are they using financing? Most of the time, they're using hard money financing. They don't have the money to do it themselves. They don't have $400,000 cash to buy it themselves. And they don't want to risk that money anyways. So the cost of money is, if you're using a hard money lender, is going to be the interest on the loan, which is usually paid up front, the points. Some lenders might charge points up front. And then you have lender fees, like the title and the legal. Most lenders, especially hard money lenders, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, almost all lenders, they have an attorney review all their documents. Yep. And then municipal fees. So the cost of money, don't forget this one. How do you think you find that number out? Who do you think is going to know the cost of money? Yeah, the lender. Good job. The lender is going to know the cost of the money. So you need to talk to hard money lenders, talk to Lewis, right? Some investors just do regular conventional loans. They don't always use hard money. Not all of them charge points up front. Some of them do. I would like, the biggest one is interest. Like I paid like it was 11% interest on my last deal, my last hard money deal. And then the lender fees were added up. But so I try to use slightly high end of the numbers that I'm used to at 350. So don't hyper focus on these numbers, but these numbers are around about what I've spent on a $350,000 property. I said don't hyper focus on these numbers here, but these numbers are pretty close to what I've spent in my experience on a $350,000 property. Maybe a little less on the rehab costs, but I wanted to go high because I'd rather you, as an investor, I would rather the agent or the wholesaler come to me with a higher number than a number they think is actually the number, and then shit happens. So, cost of money. And now, after cost of money, so you have ARV, you start with the ARV, you subtract the construction cost, you subtract the cost of money, and now you're going to subtract soft cost. Soft cost. The reason we call it soft cost is because they fluctuate a lot, and sometimes you have to pay them, sometimes you don't. For example, commissions. You as a real estate agent, if you were investing in a home yourself, or if I was investing in a home, I could list the home and only have to pay maybe 2 or 3% total. But if I wasn't a real estate agent, if you're working with an investor who's not a real estate agent, when they go to sell the home, hopefully they're hiring you to sell it, they're going to have to pay 6%. So that number will go up, right? For me, that number stays about 2 or 3. Insurance. Depending on where you're at, insurance could be more, it could be less. Taxes, depending on the property, it could be really cheap or it could be really expensive. Utilities. If it's like right now, you're probably not going to spend too much on utilities if you were to buy a house now because it's a little bit cooler outside. But if you were to buy a house in the summer, that AC is going to be kicking. Utilities are going to be expensive, so you got to take that into consideration. Then you've got closing cost in, because it's going to cost you usually 1 to 3%, and then closing cost out, which is going to cost you 1 to 3%, not including commissions. Does that make sense?
For the soft costs, are we doing that? Like, would it be safe to do it on a 6-month time frame?
Safe, yeah, 6, yeah. For me, like my satellite property, this was a nightmare. So I've had it for 7 months and it's not even on the market yet. Blow my brains out. I gotta go get new insurance on it. That's how long I've had it. Say what? Hard money.
So is it like something that in 12 months you gotta get out of?
Yeah. Getting nervous. Anyways, so construction costs, cost of money, soft costs, and then you want to know, what is this investor used to making on a deal? How much do you want to make on the deal? They're going to say, well, the most I can. You say, that's perfectly fine. But what's the least amount you would want to make on this deal? 40 grand, 30 grand, 20 grand. Everybody's got different goals, right? High ROI. What was the other ones? High ROI, low risk, and quick profits, right? So it depends on what the goal is. So ARV minus construction costs, minus the cost of money, minus your soft cost, minus how much profit the investor wants to make, equals the maximum allowable offer for that home. Are we tracking? So as an investor on this home that's 350 grand with 75K in construction costs, the most I can pay for it is 200,000. So if the seller wants 205, I can't do it. Right? I don't want to do it. I want 200,000 or less. Or less. We understand the math there? All right, this will help you with your cousin, friend? Okay, moving on. Any questions there? All right, now, like I said, you have different investors with different goals. For me, right now, it's flips. But for John down the street, he might be looking at buy and holds, right? Or building his commercial portfolio. And when you're talking to commercial investors or even just your typical buy and hold, what they are usually looking for is a return on investment or a cap rate. You guys heard the term cap rate before? Yes, you have, because you took your real estate license. And the beginning of this class. ROI is your return on investment. So do you guys remember the IRV formula? Anybody ever teach you the IRV formula? I over R times V? I over RV? So an investor is going to come to you and say, yeah, we really have an unlimited budget. We're really just wanting to get a 6% cap rate or a 6.5% cap rate. So if they say, so let's do a mock situation here. Guys, use your paper to write this down. A property is being sold at $350,000. It's being offered at $350,000, and the monthly income is $2,000 a month. Find me the cap rate. I want to know what the cap rate is on that property. $2,000 a month. Everybody got their numbers done? Okay, so tell me what you did. Tell me what you did. What'd you do? 2,000 times 12, because income is not monthly. In order to find the cap rate, we need to know the yearly income, right? So if it's making 2,000 a month times 12 equals 24,000 a year. And we said it was a $350,000. It's being offered at $350,000. So how did we find the cap rate? The income, the yearly income divided by the value. So we're dividing it. That equaled what? 0.0 what? 68. Right? So which means what? 6.8%. Oh, yeah. 6.8%. For the most part, just depends on what your investor wants. So let's say I'm an investor. So if I'm an investor who says I want 6% or better, this property fits my needs, right? Okay. But there's other stuff that's included in there. right? As an investor, they're going to want, first thing you're going to go is, okay, we've got the monthly income of 2,000, but how much are the monthly expenses? Well, we need to know, right? Yeah. Taxes, maintenance, property management, if there's property management, like we need to know all those things, then include that. But this is a hypothetical 6.8%. But first things first, when you go, okay, if it's making $2,000 a month, I kind of just threw that out there. But let's say it's making $3,000 a month and there's $1,000 a month in expenses. We have to make sure we calculate for that. We can't just say, oh, they said it's $2,000 a month is how much it's making. So you need to find out and dig deeper with the seller or the listing agent or whoever and find out what are the yearly or monthly expenses for that property, because that needs to go into our calculation, right? To get a true cap rate. So now let's do it another way, okay? Let's say a property is making, or let's say the investor wants to know what to offer on a property. And the seller says, well, it's making $24,000 a year, true, it's making $30,000, but there's $6,000 in expenses. You follow me? Okay, so it's truly making $24,000 a year. And this investor wants a 7% cap rate. Find out how much that investor wants or needs the property for. So 24K income, 7% cap. What is the value of this property to me, the 7% cap rate investor? Use the formula. 342? Sounds about right. So what did we do? Divided by 7%, right? So we literally just took the income, the yearly income, divided by my 7%, and that for that investor means we need to get this property for $342,000 or less in order to accomplish my 7% cap rate goal as an investor. Does that make sense? You said 342. Cool. So income is the monthly income times 12. It's the yearly income, right? Value is the purchase price. The cap rate is the frequency the profit is made, or the frequency in which the money is returned. Any questions there? Right? That is for a buy and hold or a commercial investor who's leasing properties. That's what they're really going to want to know. They're going to want to know that. Cool. So we got a good understanding, right? We got a good understanding on how to work with flip property investors and rental property investors. Good. They're expecting you guys to be experts. You guys feel like experts? If not, get on YouTube, watch some videos. Go educate yourself. All right, so me and Javier, we're making something really cool, free for you guys. We're going to be charging the rest of the world for it. It's called InVillow. InVillow. What is InVillow? Talk to me.
So I got the 342 like he did.
Yeah.
Without subtracting the 6,000. Right, so what if you subtract the 6,000? And it would be 18.
No, sorry. I said true 24,000. So I said, let's just say 30,000 minus 6. Yeah, like let's just say it's making $30,000 a year gross, and there's $6,000 in expenses, taxes, and
I just said 30,000.
Yeah. So I was just saying, yeah, because whatever number they give you, you got to find out if that's true. If that's true income, if that's truly the net income, or if that's like not including expenses. Because they will just throw out a random number to you and they'll say, hey, you figure out what your expenses would be. And you go, well, fuck, it could be anything. All right, so what is InVillow? If you got your phone on you, pull it up on your phone. If you got your laptop, pull it up on your laptop. So we're creating InVillow for starters, to solve my problems as an investor. Because what I have is agents, wholesalers, random people sending me investment deals left and right. And some people will text me the information. Some people will email me the information. Some people will call me and tell me the information. And I can't analyze these properties like that. I need what I need to be able to analyze the property. So the most basic function of InVillow is for you, the agents or the wholesalers, to input properties. And our system, our algorithm, will automatically analyze those and have a grading system for those properties based on the numbers you provide. So InVillow.com, InVillow. It's not perfect yet. Like, we literally just rolled it out like within the last couple of days, just for a beta test, just a trial run. So so I have my profile. I have a investor profile, and I have a sales pro profile. Sales pro is agents, wholesalers. So as of right now, the most basic function of this site is for you guys to input and share properties. So let's say you've got a pocket listing. Put that beast in InVillow and send it to all your investors. It's as easy as going in here and, okay, so this is my investor profile. So when I go to property search as an investor, I would type in my criteria and all the properties that match it would pop up. As you can see, there's just we just put these fake properties in here, just to test it. But so like, here's what it would look like if I clicked into it. So it would have the seller, it would have your information in there for you. It would have pictures of the property. It would have all the information I need. It would have the sales comps. You see the sales comp links. So you would input that in there. It would show the overview with the rehab, the structure details, and down at the bottom, some recently added properties. So what I would do is I would click somewhere. It may not even be here yet. Oh, because I'm in the investor side. I'm on my investor profile. I would heart this, and you would know in your agent profile what investors hearted your property, so you could call them and say, hey, I saw you liked one of my properties that I have, my pocket listing or my off-market deal or my for sale by owner deal. I saw you liked it. I'd like to set up a time with you to go see it or to share some more information about it. What type of investments are you looking for? So this is going to generate investor leads for you guys as well. So as an investor, that's what it looks like. For you, inputting your deals, here's what it would look like. You create a little, and this is going to change. It's going to get better. It's going to get more user-friendly. But as of right now, this is what it looks like. So you put your profile information together. You add a profile picture. You add some experience. You could add your sold projects. But available projects right here, you see that? You click in there, and bam, is an input page. So you would upload your property images. You'd put the title. You never want to put the address for the title. Maybe you just put St. Cloud, or maybe you call it something. Don't put anything crazy in there, please. But maybe you call it the Purple House or whatever, right? Or the Chocolate Chip Cookie House, whatever you want to call it. And you put the status, so it's available, the location, the price, the estimated rehab, the ARV, estimated ROI, the type of property, the HOA, any special conditions, the seller's reason for selling. You can use Zillow, you can use the MLS, you can use Realtor.com, you can use RoyalRealtyExperts.com and create just a landing page for the listing. And you want to put the sold comps in here because as an investor, we want to see those concrete sold comps, right? Those sold comparables that we're gonna judge the ARV of this house off of. And then notes on repair. So anything you want to include in there extra, anything you think they're going to need to know. And then obviously all of the basic features of the home. So let me, hold on. What do I need to do this? Let me see. Is it going to require me to do anything? Yeah, okay. Falling asleep back there. So now that I have it inputted, now I can send it to my investor. View property and add that to the things. Share button. So there'll be a share button here somewhere. And you can send this directly to the profile, directly to somebody as a link to an investor, and they can just see everything you want them to see. And you can go in Lofty, let's say, and if you have a segment for all your investors, because you're going to have a ton of investors, like I said, there's an endless supply of investors. Start putting those people into Lofty under an investor segment, and now you can take that link and you can mass text it to all your investors. Right? That's your pocket listing. Maybe you make 7% or 6% on that deal. Or maybe, someone says, I'd be interested, and you wholesale that deal. Right? So this is a great way for you guys to do more deals. I promise you, there are deals out there. Whether or not someone calls you to buy or sell a home, you can put a deal together today. You could put a deal together today. You get on ForSaleByOwner.com, you get on Zillow, you go out there and you talk to wholesalers. You can wholesale other people's wholesale deals. You know that, right? You can go on and talk to a bunch of wholesalers. Hey, you got anything? And they send you some stuff, and you go, okay, so your price is $310. You're wholesaling it to me for $320. I can try to wholesale it to someone else for $330 or $340. And you plug that in here, and then you send it out to everybody in your investor segment. You can put a deal together today. I mean, thank you. It's going to get even better. We are literally just rolling it out for a beta test. So get in there and put some deals in there. Tell us what you see and what you notice, because we want to make this a tool that you guys can use to do more deals. Because that's what it's all about, is doing more deals. Making your guys' business a little more dynamic. So, any questions about InVillow? Yes. 100%. Yeah. So look, if I go to view profile, I can send so you can see I have my IRF deal right here. So all my deals that I have inputted in here, they'd be right here. Bam, 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 bam. Maybe I have 10 deals at a time. I can copy my profile URL and send it to all my investors. Say, hey, check out all my deals. Let me know if you like, and if they like them, they'll heart them. Or you say, hey, if you like one, just like it. Say that again. They already have your profile? No. So I'm saying, like, if you were to have an investor segment in Lofty, let's say, right, where you have like 100 investors or 20, whatever, 5 investors, doesn't matter. You can take your link, your share profile link, and you can share with them all of your properties. Or maybe you just want to share your newest one, and you can share with them your newest one. Or let's say, you meet an investor out in public, at a networking event or something. You say, hey, by the way, I love working with investors. I have a bunch of pocket listings and off-market deals. I'm going to send you my profile. Let me know if you like anything. And you send them your profile. This is just another way for you guys to be more dynamic. Yep. 100%. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you just reminded me. Another way to use this, if you ever are trying to get a BBA signed, my broker requires me to get these contracts signed so we can share our off-market properties with you. Your off-market properties, right? Just another reason why they should use you, because not only are you going to send them what's active on the market, but you have a bunch of pocket listings, you have a bunch of off-market deals that they'll get access to as well after they sign the BBA with you.
Can you make a profile for your whole team too?
Yeah.
Like that way, like individuals have their own, and you have one that's for all of the team. Everybody's happy.
Hey, write that in there. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Just add one for the team. Well, profile with all the numbers are shared there, as well as your individual ones, so that way
Yep.
you're just flat without even looking for that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so like, exactly. Yeah, you could basically, if Thomas has 3 and Alfredo has 3 and Cleo has 3 and I have 3, and then that way, if I wanted to, I can maybe share it as a group link and combine forces with my team, so long as both parties agree. Like Thomas would have to agree, I would have to agree, and then anytime I share my profile, they can see mine and Thomas's. It's a great idea. Yeah, like a team, almost like a team aspect to it. Because yeah, that would be perfect. That's a great idea. Because let's just say somebody clicks on mine, but it's on Thomas's listing. I could say, hey Thomas, I got this person who's interested for X price. Do you think we can make a deal where we split, the wholesale fee or the commission, right? Because if Thomas has a 6% commission on his pocket listing, maybe he'll split it with me because we have a buyer right away. Great idea. Yeah, and we're not even close. We're not even close to. It's going to get so much better, and there's so many more things that are going to go into it. We want to put a fundraising side to this. So, like, you ever go to GoFundMe? Basically, let's say you're logged in as an investor. This is what I'm looking forward to. Let's say I'm logged in as an investor. I could click a button, and I could create a pitch deck. You know what a pitch deck is? You know what a pitch is? I could create a pitch to other investors on this property. Say, hey, this is a property that I found. I'm wanting $50,000, $60,000 for a 50% partnership. Here's how much work is going to be needed. Here's the expected return on investment. Here's the expected timeline. How much cap? Will you pledge $60K? And they could pledge this. They could pledge the money through there, and maybe we could even eventually we want to be able for you to safely secure the funds through the site. Yeah, and we're going to be doing a coaching thing too. So wholesalers and agents will get coaches that you can partner with that'll help you sell your deals, and then investors will get a coach. Could get a coach if they want to partner with them on their deals potentially, and also help them analyze good deals and how much they need to offer and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's going to grow, and you guys are going to get it for free. So all we ask of you is that you help us trial run it. Just help us beta test it. Be on the lookout for those off-market properties. Be on the lookout for those for sale by owner deals. And if you see something, put it in there. And then use it and tell us, hey, this happened. Or I noticed that I couldn't do this. Or hey, there's an error here. Just let us know like where it's failing. Any other questions about it? InVillow is meant to connect you with investors and help you do more deals and be a more dynamic real estate agent, as well as pave the way for your future investments. Who here wants to eventually invest in real estate? Everybody? Yeah. This is going to help you do that. You'll get to a point where you can use this software. Yeah. That's something we got to figure out. That's an idea that I had last night. I was on a treadmill and I don't know, just like, yeah. And how great would it be? Because for me, it's like I look at a deal and I'm like, I have no idea if this is a good deal or not. Sometimes. I would love to run this by somebody who cares, whether I make money or not, right? And so I was thinking, I'm like, why don't I wish I had an investment coach. I'm like, why don't we do that through InVillow? So at some point there'll be retired investors, retired wholesalers and agents, investment agents who, whichever one you want to be or whichever coach you want, you could sign up for a coach and that person has a vested stake in your success. And you can bounce ideas off of, bounce deals off of, and maybe even use as a partner in capital partner, someone to raise money from. I don't know how we would set that up. Probably not. It would probably be a monthly thing. But I don't know.
Because you said like have a coach who's invested in your success. So like, I feel like I'm the best.
Well, if you did a deal and you failed, you probably wouldn't pay for coaching anymore. Probably like, fuck, a coach told me it was a good idea. I ran the numbers by him. He said I was good, and now I lost much money. I'm not paying for coaching. True. Well, the other way we don't want you to fail. And the other way I see it is, if they've got money and they're good at this stuff and they see that you have a good deal and you want them to, they could invest with you too, right? Like somebody to partner with you on deals. Because that's what's made it possible for me, is having partners. Like if I didn't have access to good partners, I don't know that I ever got into flipping. I mean, I would have. I found a way. But, my first 3 deals I had a partner on. So, I mean, all the deals I do, I have a partner on. But I didn't have any money. I didn't have any money myself my first 3 deals. So, that would be something that would be invaluable for you guys too, is to have that sort of access to people who. Any questions about InVillow?
The crazy thing is that like some of these partners are literally like co-workers, people you've already done a transaction with.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to invest more and more, but they don't really want to do the work.
Yep.
They got the money. So what he's trying to open up is a whole new avenue for clients to work with.
Yeah.
I love that because I met so many people that they bought a house with the intention of renting, and all of a sudden they're calling me, hey, what can you do with this house for me?
Yeah.
Rental properties because of their money.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many ways that you can do it, but
yeah.
The more people you meet and you introduce to this side of your business, eventually you're gonna have people that are just gonna let something.
100%.
Give you the money and say, yo, I trust you.
Yep.
Go find a deal, go do the deal, whatever it takes, I'll back you up.
Yeah.
And that's where you start making money off other people's money.
Exactly. That's what I really like about the pitch deck. Like I said, this is like I'm solving my problems first with this. And one of them is like, to find capital. The last 2 or 3 deals I've done, I use Facebook. I wrote a post on Facebook. I said, looking for $50,000 for a flip property, a 50% stake. And, I had a list of people, write me, I'm interested. I'm like, oh, wow, this works. But actually being able to send them something professional rather than just a Facebook post, I mean, that's it.
Crazy though, you just put a post and you got 10 people that say, yo, I'll give you the money. Like what?
I have a list of 9 people or something like that, with everything from 20 to 100K pledged from Facebook, for the most part.
So if you find this deal tomorrow, you can call up deals people and be like, hey, you want to partner?
Yep. And I will have those people through InVillow. I will have a list of capital investors as well. So not every investor on InVillow is going to be a flip investor. They're going to be there'll be a section for capital investments. So you can go to a property and click create pitch deck and create the pitch deck and send it to the list of investors. So these investors will have, multiple people sending them multiple pitches, but the goal is that our algorithm will rate the best deals and the best pitches for the investors, for the flippers, for the wholesalers. It's all dependent on our algorithm, but it's really cool. There's a lot of great features in this, and we're going to be building it out. We really need your help, though. We really need your help putting deals in here and actually using it, because without the feedback, we can't make it better. We're based in Australia, and we've got houses in Pakistan. Yep. And our developer's from Brazil, so I don't know how that happened. Brazil, right? So weird. All right, well, thank you guys for coming today. Appreciate your time. Please help us with InVillow. Give us feedback. Woo! And someone eat these blood sausages, please.